When I get up in the morning, this is the first place I want to be, here. It tends to make me feel like I'm at home, like I'm Jamaica. I have that feeling. So I come out of my house and I come sit here, rain or shine. Even if it's raining, I enjoy it even just as much. My main subject is to grow vegetables, exotic vegetables, and most vegetables from the Caribbean, like Jamaica and all the other Caribbean islands. It makes me feel like I've achieved something, really. In the horticulture, you'll always see the television program like Alan Titchmarsh and all those famous people. They grow all these flowers. They're flowers people, and they might grow a couple of courgettes and tomatoes, but let them try and grow chocho. I was lucky to get my allotment here years ago, but it's really hard for young farmers from the city to find space to grow. I met a young man the other day from Tottenham. His name is Chris. Like myself, he's been struggling to find space for commercial farming business.
My parents had an allotment here.
Over here?
Yeah, in the early 90s. This was one of the places where I fell in love with nature, fell in love with the whole aspect of gardening.
To be back here, it's really just inspired me to find some land of my own so I can start a farming business.
Hopefully do something in the future with an allotment, with a greenhouse.
Obtaining land like a farm or something, it was so difficult on my own. I can't. Before you start selling the chocho to outlets, you need good supply. At the moment, most I could grow here is about maybe 500 or something like that. And to be able to start them supply to Sainsbury's and things like that, you need thousands. So what I've done, they've called a thing called Rootsmore Land. That's everybody I know who's got a garden and not using it. Just call the Roxham Garden and we will come along, grow up everything in your garden so we could teach you to grow as well, and then you could help supply our stores and things like that with what we grow from the Caribbean. As a matter of fact, even my next door neighbour, my next door will tell me that's a wonderful idea.
I've had to think creatively around the difficulties of obtaining land.
At the current moment, the option I have was to set it up at home. And so I was able to use my back garden. We cleared out the back garden, took all the measurements, the space.
So when you told me about, Mom, do you know about this farming without soil? I said farming without soil, are we crazy? It's not the best place to do it, but this is what we have. It's not been easy. Things didn't go the way he wanted, so he ended up coming here. I said, fine, support him 100%, 200%.
Yeah, you'll get the funding and you'll get somewhere. So continue to do your work. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Respect, Chris.
That's it, man. I appreciate
All right.
that.
I signed up for the first polo training session at work and then found it to be a very interesting place. It just so happened that everyone seemed to be very tall, very handsome, very blonde. I found myself wondering, would I fit in? Would I enjoy this experience? So it came with lots of questions. It was only until I had a work trip where I was seconded to Nigeria that I then had a very different taste of polo, and spending time with some of Nigeria's most prominent polo players realised actually I'm in a field and an arena with people that look just like me. So why am I sitting in London feeling insecure about whether I belong in this space?
I actually came into riding because I saw it on television. I was literally channel hopping one day and I came across Horse and Country TV and I just was enamoured by it. I was like, oh my God, I really want to do that. And at that time, I didn't know that there was like an entry level where you could just go and ride as a novice. It really captured my heart to the point that I actually changed the degree I was doing. So I was originally doing fashion design and I actually changed to do equine studies because I just love being around horses so much. Today I'm back at Briley, which is the ride where I like to ride at. I'm going to have a little riding lesson with my first instructor, Shona, just to start off my training towards show jumping. I decided to get back in touch with Briley because I had such a great experience here learning to ride in the first place, and going out into the bigger industry and wider industry has just been a bit different than when I was here. And I really wanted to get back to just the feeling that I had here and knowing that I was at a place where I was confident and happy.
Right leg on, right leg on, right leg. Woo! Well sat.
I was one of the first black girls to actually ride for the RAF with my horse, Raj. It was really funny because I've always had horses, so it's not different for me. It's not weird. I've always had them. But when I joined the RAF and I brought my beautiful Cleveland Bay to the camp, I had a lot of people, especially officers' wives, looking at me. And I used to get some really horrendous looks. People asking me, where did I borrow my horse from? And, you know, who lent me my horse? And those sorts of things, you know, that couldn't possibly have my own horse, you know. But I was good at what I was doing. So, you know, when you are good at something, you know, people can't really slate you because you are really good at what you do.
When I started riding, my ultimate goal was to be the first Black British show jumper to represent Team GB in the Olympics. A very big dream, I know, for someone who had never sat on a horse, but because of how I came into riding, I saw competitive show jumping, I watched the Olympics and I was amazed, and I thought, you know what, I want to do that. And a huge part of that for me was to show people that it can be done, no matter where you're from, what your background is. If you just have the dedication and the skill, then you can just get out there and get it.
If you love honey, you're supposed to love bees. The bees is on the endangered species list. My goal is not to get the bees for honey, but to take them out of the endangered species list, to build the bees population that we can get more food for the human. The bees don't make honey for human. They make it for themselves. When things is rough, when it's winter, that they can have food. But sometimes they have a little excess, so you can get some. If I get some honey, I give thanks. A lot of beekeepers work in the bees like a slave, you know. They do it for the benefit of making some money, you know, and to get some honey. So that's why most of them just work the bees like that. So I try to keep bees at the Caribbean Center. Well, I keep it that I can teach people about bees, to enlighten people about the Caribbean Center. That place we are doing something for the community and the bees. The community is like a family, and the bees will give their life for the next generation. I would like to do better than what the bees done. The bees is very important king because they pollinate the food that we eat and make we get food to eat, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
The king is my little neighbor and my little friend, you know? And King is a very smart youth, and he loves nature, he loves bees, he loves plants, he loves everything like that, you know?
Bees sting with the bums.
Oh, with their bums?
Sting.
What they use sting you?
With the bums.
I didn't know you know those things, man. Children is the next generation. And if you don't let the children know what you know, everything will die with you. We should hand it over to the next generation. When you die, everything dies with you. But if you pass it on, the younger generation carry what you know on to their kids and their grandkids. They will carry the baton on. We want to unite the community together, that we can get things done. Better housing, better water system, better electricity, better working system. And those are the things we would like in our community. This is the same way the bees work in unity. That's why I love the bees. They're very unified. Unity is strength.